night air was soft, almost breathless, as I pulled into the garage, the engine humming like a quiet promise. I remember the way the lights from the street stretched long and golden across the pavement, and how the silence of the place felt thick, as if it held its own secrets. I had been out late, the kind of night where the world feels slower, more still, and the world outside your car feels like a story waiting to be told. I backed in, the wheels whispering against the concrete, and for a moment, I just sat there, the engine still running, my hand resting on the center console, as if I were holding on to something just beyond my reach. Then I saw him, not the way you see a person walking down the street, but the way you sense a shift in the air, a ripple in the quiet. He stood there, just inside the garage, a silhouette against the faint glow of the overhead light. I didn't hear him come in, didn't see his car, just the shape of a man, still and quiet, watching me. My breath caught, a small, involuntary thing, like the hush before a storm. He said something, but I didn't catch it at first. My mind was already pulling back, trying to make sense of what I saw. He was dressed strangely, not like the people I knew, not like the quiet, familiar faces that passed through the village. Just shorts, no shirt, as if the air had forgotten to be warm. I remember the way the light caught on the back of his head, the way he stood there, unmoving, like a question without an answer. I hit the lock button, quick, almost automatic, as if to draw a line between us. He spoke again, louder this time, asking for my phone, saying his car had broken down. I didn't see it, didn't see the car, didn't see the sign of trouble. I just saw him, and the way he stood there, like he belonged to the silence, like he had always been there, just waiting. I remember the way my heart beat, steady, but a little too fast, like a clock that had been stopped and then started again. I looked at him, and I felt something shift, not in the world around me, but inside me, like a thread had been pulled, and the whole thing began to unravel. He said it again, more firmly this time, and I realized I had been staring, not because I didn't understand, but because I wasn't sure what to say. I had always been the kind of person who tried to help, who gave, who opened doors. But this wasn't a question of kindness, not really. It was something else, something quiet and insistent, like the way the wind moves when it's about to change. I told him I couldn't help, and he said it again, louder. And I remember the way my fingers curled around the edge of the seat, as if to hold myself steady. I didn't want to be afraid, not in that way, not in the quiet, unspoken way that comes when something feels just a little too close. He turned and walked away, and I stayed in the car, the engine still running, until the garage door had closed behind him. Then I turned it off, and the silence felt different, like it had been holding its breath. I didn't say much about it that night, not to anyone, but I remember the way I felt, the way the air in the garage had seemed to change, like something had passed between us, something I couldn't quite name. I remember the way I looked at the door, at the place where he had stood, and I wondered if I had imagined it, if it had all been just a trick of the light, or if something had been there, just for a moment, before it disappeared. I never saw him again, but I remember the way the night had felt that evening, like it had been holding something back, like the world had paused for a moment, just to let something slip through. And I remember the way I felt, not afraid, but something more, something quiet and lingering, like a memory that had been left unfinished.